Hey, Tariq. Well, there's no need to miss me because here I am. Thank you for being here. G'day. Thank you for the compliment. How you doing? Happy New Year, Joseph. I'm afraid my glasses reflect. You're so distracted. Happy New Year. Super figure. Well, cheers. I'm going to talk in a minute, so then I won't be paying much attention to your chat, I'm afraid. But do feel free to talk among yourselves. G'day, Junior. Junior Dawkins, my most loyal supporter. Through thick and thin has he been a member for the longest time, and very grateful I am for it. Thank you, Junior. I hope you're well over in London, sweetheart. Oh, John King. G'day. All right, so here I am, and I thought, given Elon Musk is about to become, the leader of the New World Order, or at least thinks he is, and as soon as he tries to, Putin will probably knock him off, and Putin will step in. I thought I will contribute my 2 cents worth on the whole Elon Musk phenomenon and political cluster feck that's happening at the moment. So, here's the thing, right? Elon Musk. To start off with, Elon Musk is not a genius. He's not a genius. He's managed to convince other people he's a genius. But what Elon Musk is a rich, white, racist, South African Nepo baby who pays geniuses to fulfill wild ideas. He's a very good entrepreneur, but entrepreneur and genius is two very, very different things, right? Like, I used to think that Elon Musk was possibly like the world's newest hope because he was doing so many good things in environmental fashion with for instance, in South Australia about a decade ago, Elon Musk put loads of Tesla batteries in from a solar farm, from a solar energy farm, and that ran the grid of a massive Australian state, which replaced coal-powered fire stations, right? Coal-fired power stations. So he was on the right track, he had all the potential. And I used to think that perhaps he was like a really clever genius because so the propaganda was that, he created and invented PayPal, which is still a fabulous system and all that sort of thing, and then sold it, then did all these other things, and, and then he gave himself the Nikola Tesla name, so obviously he was sciencey and he was supposed to be all this sort of thing. But no, he's just like a big man baby. Like, if he didn't have millions of dollars already from like exploitation of South Africa via his daddy's like diamond business, he'd just be like another dickhead in a hoodie on the couch playing PlayStation and claiming to be like really good at high school science. If only I'd had more opportunities, like everyone else out there, killing each other on COD in an ejaculation of virtual bullets because They don't have anything else to ejaculate on because they're beta fucks, cooks. So yeah. So that's Elon. So anyway, but then Elon got so much money in the world that absolute power corrupts absolutely, and now he's absolutely corrupt. But every Batman villain has a turning point, you know? Every Batman villain has a turning point and a genesis and a backstory. And do you want to hear my theory on what made Elon Musk turn to the dark side? This is my theory on Elon Musk turning to the dark side. Do you remember this time about 3 years ago, Johnny Depp was destroying Amber Heard so that she had nothing but misery for the rest of her life? Do you remember when Johnny Depp had a midlife crisis and married a girl that was so much younger than he was that she wasn't even born by the time he was already a multimillionaire and world famous? And do you remember when he married that young woman, she had borderline personality disorder, and people with borderline personality disorder tend to behave as though their personality is disturbed and have very, very bad episodes. And so if a person with borderline personality disorder is fed a millionaire jet set lifestyle with unlimited amount of drink and psychedelic drugs of choice, someone is cruising for a bruising, and unfortunately it was the marriage of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Now, Amber Heard, a full-on nightmare to live with, quite obviously, and I don't really credit her with much acting talent, but that's not why he married her, was it now? And left his partner and children to do so. Might we add, how could she do this to Johnny? I think Johnny did this to himself. Anyway, at one point in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, Amber Heard's best mate was on the witness stand regurgitating a lot of the phone calls that he had with Amber Heard about her various romantic disappointments. And one of them was Elon Musk. And this male witness said very sort of cynically and callously, I said, when he was talking about Amber Heard being upset that she'd broken up with Elon Musk, he said, well, so what? It's not as though you loved him anyway. You said you didn't love him anyway. And I reckon for Elon Musk, who is so desperate to be the fucking white savior of everyone, and so desperate to be famous and going to I alone can save it bullshit, and look at me, I'm literally the co-president now because I'm the coolest kid in the room. Having the most scandalous trial, I followed that Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial like it was the fucking O.J. Simpson trial back in 1996, like it was with pure trash TV entertainment, because I just couldn't wait to, I needed to know what the story was, right? It was, and it was brutal to Amber Heard, absolutely fucking brutal. I'm aware that she behaved very badly, and the New York Times ran the editorial that Amber Heard was credited with having written about domestic violence. She only basically signed a name to it. It was ghost written even, because she's not really, she was just used. Because Amber Heard is obviously very, very trusting, and yet, you know, very, very, yeah, so wrapped up in her own ego that she never thought that anyone would like bring her down. And same with the guy she married, I guess. Anyway, Amber Heard came off very, very badly in that trial. But I reckon Elon Musk just hung on to that moment where the guy said, well, you said like you never loved him anyway, and thought, no one has ever loved me for any reason other than my money. Just the same way I've always said, if I ever met people go, because I've always been anti-Trump. I've always been a never Trumper, right? Because, put it this way, Trump, I never paid much attention to Donald Trump the whole time that he was like reputedly the 80s like real estate mogul, made good, blah blah. I never paid much attention to him. He was just like the running gag on like chat shows, and then later on like internet jokes and things, without actually ever really making a public appearance in my Australian life. So like there were always like there were just jokes about how he was vulgar, how like basically he and his first wife Ivana and subsequent others are just like crass Euro trash who who are just the epitome of the consumer society. And then came the Apprentice after all those bankruptcies and things, and people unfortunately think that reality shows are reality instead of scripted television. And once Donald Trump was a household name and people thought of him as successful and, big white daddy, that was the end of it, really. But people have always said, well, what would you do if I actually met Trump? I'm like, you know what, I'd probably give him a hug if he wanted one. The poor bastard. No wonder, like, hurt people, and no one is as hurt as Donald J. Trump. He was rejected by his mother. His father was, like, taught him that the only thing in life that mattered was, like, money. And he's just like, and he's obviously wildly out there on the spectrum, and he can't recognise social signals well. He certainly doesn't recognise fucking no, does he? He thinks he's still in Studio 54 with like women hanging on to him begging for like to be introduced to his coke dealer. He's never moved on from that. And it's just so sad. Like, there's no one has ever loved Donald Trump for anything other than his money and the power that it has brought him. It's just tragic. It's tragic. Even his children think he's a nightmare. It's like, but then half of America think he's their golden calf. And now he's going to be, and he has been re-elected and certificated, sworn in sort of thing, as will be sworn in on the 20th as the 47th president after having served the 45th, and the 45th presidency ended with a violent insurrection that killed police officers and civilians and resulted in many people going to jail. And all those people are going to be immediately pardoned upon Trump re-entering office. So it's wild times. But, so what basically I'm saying is it's a very old saying that, what benefits a man if he gain the whole world yet loseth his soul? I'm afraid Trump and Elon Musk lost their souls quite some considerable time ago, but I believe, as a Christian spiritualist, that no one's beyond redemption. There's always hope. There's always hope that people will forgive and heal, because life's too short to live in hate. I always choose love and forgiveness. I turn the other cheek so much that I have resolved to continue to turn my cheek, but I've resolved to stop sticking my chin out for people to slap. There's a difference. So, but I forgive Elon Musk and I forgive Donald Trump for all the evil that they are consciously bringing into the world, because they're just, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. They're ignorant and starved of affection and mad with the fucking power, as anyone is prone to become. So turn the other cheek, as I say. And in March, I'm going to the Houston rodeo, so I will be surrounded by Trump voters, and Trump voters who will, of course, be very much fervent supporters of the Second Amendment. So, yippee-ki-yay, motherfuckers. I can't wait. I cannot wait, because there's one thing I learned as a tour director, okay? Well, it's not that I learned, but it confirmed. Like, people are people wherever you go. People are people, as Depeche Mode said. So, all the American tourists I met, some were absolute, like, the most ignorant, belligerent, rudest, self-entitled, whiny morons that you would ever hope that you would not meet in this time on earth. And there were some people who were just considerate, kind, delightful, independent, just wonderful travel companions, and the ones who could, like, listen and show you the respect of, like, your opinion, and and then there were the Texans, right? I had this bus tour with just 30 Texans, and you know that every single one of them would be a Trump voter, and they're loud about it, and they are just the best people in the world. And I probably disagree with them every which way politically, but I know that they are the nicest people on the earth, and the reason they vote Trump isn't the stereotypical, is not because their reasons for voting for Trump in their mind are very, very sound for their own rights and freedoms and religious beliefs and that sort of thing. They feel they're making the righteous choice in voting for Trump and being MAGA all the way. They're not the people you're going to find storming the Capitol, and they're not going to be the biker gangs. They're not going to be Proud Boys. They're good people. They are the sweetest people I've ever met, and they invited me over to the Houston rodeo, where they live for the last couple of years now, and I'm going to go and hang out with them. So I'm going to be at the Houston rodeo, milling around with tens and tens of thousands of people in the reddest of states. And I've made no secret of the fact I'm a bleeding heart liberal. I'm a bleeding heart liberal from Australia, and very outspoken in my views about love one another. So vote for the party that supports the needy among us, because it supports my Christian belief. And yet there are right-wing Christians who believe exactly the opposite of what I do politically. But we can just still live cheek by jowl. It's possible to choose peace and discussion and laughter and there's people in the world that would cancel me for going to a rodeo, like PETA, there are animal welfare groups that think the rodeos are wrong, and I don't agree with that opinion, because I know that the animals are humanely treated, as and it's just a huge cultural thing that it's not like bullfighting. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not bear baiting. It's not badger baiting. Oh God, there was a news item. There was a news item on the radio the other day where um, an Irish barrister, an Irish law professor at Trinity College, was just recently acquitted of murder. He shot a man dead on his property, defending his own life as far as he's concerned. But the man that he shot was there with others, with dogs, and they were badger baiting. And as soon as I heard badger baiting, I thought, well, I weep for the children of that man that died. And I hope that they receive the support they need to break the cycle of the sort of violence in which people think it's okay to like tramp across other people's like farmland and torture native animals to death with wild dogs, with the dogs that are being trained to mutilate other like native wildlife. I'm rather fond of badgers, so I don't justify homicide. It seems to be in all faith accidental homicide, and the man was acquitted, so let's hope that he is allowed to live his life without fear of reprisal from the sort of people that go badger baiting, is what I say. So there you go. Give peace a chance, and yippee-ki-yay, motherfuckers. I'm going to go to Houston rodeo, so I'll be surrounded by MAGA. I'll be surrounded by MAGA who all have open carry licenses. Oh my God. Woo! It's going to be some ride, I tell you. Alright, that's it for now. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone for subscribing. Please click like and subscribe. And please do your thing by me and share my videos, the shorts, the lives, and the other videos, the podcasts. Share them far and wide via WhatsApp. That brings me loads of views, and that means I can do this more often, and I never have to, go out there in the big wide world again where it's hard out there for a bitch. All right, I'll see you when you got nothing on.